ending for several countries in 2025. And for many families, that could mean losing work permits, driver's licenses, and even their right to stay. But what really happens next is a big question. In this episode, immigration attorney Ruby L. Pars reveals your legal options and also the urgent steps you need to take now. But what is happening right now? What can be the reason behind it if you're the founder of Pars Law Group in Houston? None other than attorney Ruby L. Pars. Imagine building a life here for decades. You're working hard, paying taxes, and raising a family. And suddenly, one day, you're being told that your time is up. Exactly. That is what is happening right now. TPS in 2025 is ending for several countries. But do you know what happens actually to those people for living here under it? Also, can you apply for another status? And is it true that you have to leave your US country then and there? And most importantly, what are some of the legal options to stay in the US? Well, if you don't know the answer of these many questions, then let me tell you, you are in the right platform. Hello everyone and welcome back to Immigration Talk Show. I'm your host Sam. And today we are going to talk about a very important topic that is actually being on top of everybody's notification. The topic is TPS is ending, now what? In this session, we are going to unpack the legal options and strategies for 2025. Stay tuned, watch the session till the end, and also if you want, you can put your comments or your thoughts in the comment section. And also friends, let me tell you, the guest who is going to join us is going to add a lot of insights in this session. None other than attorney Ruby L. Pars, a board certified immigration attorney and also the founder of Pars Law Group in Houston. With nearly 2 decades of experience, she is not only a skilled legal expert, but also a passionate advocate for immigrants and their families. So without any further ado, let me welcome none other than attorney Ruby Pars. So hi Ruby, and I hope you're doing great today, and thank you so much for joining us in Immigration Talk Show.
I'm grateful to be here, and yes, this is definitely difficult times that we're in. I just had a consult with or check-in with some clients who have Honduran TPS, and just to think about how that, like you were mentioning, having to think about what are their options with just so little time to transition. So many, especially the Honduran and El Salvadorian TPS recipients have had it for many, many years and built their lives here. Others maybe less time, but still valuable transition time to be able to build a life and have better options than where they came from at the moment for whatever reason. So I'm going to try to cover a lot of territory in a presentation that has a lot of different things to consider, but every case is specific and everyone should just have a consultation with experienced legal assistant, a legal representative to give that advice. And that this doesn't take the place of the legal advice, but does give some general information. And so that's what I want to make sure that people understand. And the sooner that they do something, the better. Whether we're having to do a FOIA or file for a petition or whatever, nothing is really fast. And so that is the other big takeaway. So knowledge is power, have a consult and move quickly, especially and maybe even if one of your designated, you're a part of the TPS that the country has not been told that it's terminating, and maybe you still have time until 2026 or something. Well, we don't know. With this administration, probably a lot of TPSs will be ended. So we need to keep that in mind. So I'll go ahead and share my screen and get started with my presentation. So what are the legal options and strategies? Here we are in 2025, like Sam mentioned, with many of the different TPSs ending. And just notably, the big ones right now that are confirmed to be ending in September 2025 are Honduras, El Salvador, and Haiti. But many other programs have already been notified that ending, like one of the ones for Venezuela that was ending in April 2025, and other countries, so like Afghanistan, etc. The best place to go is to the USCIS website for TPS to find out which ones apply to you, and what all the details. That's probably the best source, is the USCIS website under TPS, and then going to your country. So just briefly about me, I'm board certified in Texas. Because its practice is federal, I'm able to practice immigration around the world on U.S. immigration matters for clients all over. And the firm is 16 years old this year, and I'm an author and professor and podcaster on law practice management, regularly on immigration. So let's go ahead and get into it. So TPS is a humanitarian program allowing nationals from designated countries to live and work in the U.S. Usually it was because of civil unrest, earthquakes, wars, some hurricane, something big, and it was a very humanitarian, discretionary option that often was not announced in advance. What would happen was that individuals were already here, and this was a way to convert people into a status that was more in that medium to longer than just a tourist visa, or maybe being here legally and not knowing what to do. But then some of these TPSs have been lasting for like 25 years, so 26 years. So that's quite fascinating. When we say the word temporary, we think temporary, but there were some TPSs that we knew have been going on for a quarter of a decade. So the designation was DHS, and it didn't lead to legal permanent residency, but there were some ways when people had a legal entry and maybe a U.S. citizen spouse or a U.S. citizen 21-year-old up child, that they were able to obtain legal permanent residency, or maybe some other way. So some of the big ones, so just one of the things to note is that the TPS ending, it's important to note that what the actual date is. Just recently, they updated that Honduras and Nicaragua were extended until early September, and given that 60-day grace period. The same thing with Haiti has until, I believe it's September 2nd. So just to go in and double check what the actual final date is, because there's been so many changes, and then whether they, for the most part, once they gave the termination, there was a 60-day grace period. Now, again, also there's a lot of lawsuits, and so the question, but then there was a recent Supreme Court decision regarding the birthright citizenship that was talking about whether or not lower courts could create a nationwide injunction or not. So that is another component to all of this that just happened in the last couple of weeks. But bottom line, go to the USCIS TPS website to see about your specific country. But for the most part, the ones that have a lot of individuals, like nearly 500,000 for Venezuela, and I think it's almost 300,000 or so for Honduras, Nicaragua. Some of these are the ones that you need to be watching for, in Haiti as well. So the ending of it, like you were mentioning, it means that what are people to do? Their work authorizations will no longer be valid. They won't be able to renew the driver's license in many states that require a status. They'll be accruing unlawful presence, and in the climate that we're in, it's a lot more difficult to be in the United States without a status.
So we have covered why TPS is ending, what that means for your work authorization, and the urgent need to act fast. But in the next episode, we go deeper, exploring the real-world impact on critical jobs like healthcare and first responders. And we will also break down some practical legal options you might still have before time runs out.